finished up our tutorial on how to diagnose a bad lifter on a 2010 Chevy Tahoe with a 5.3 liter V8 motor. Some of you have posted some comments and you wanted more information on it, so I decided I would share with you. Again, this is a 2010 Chevy Tahoe. It has a 5.3 liter motor in it, and it has a ticking sound in it. Well, a ticking, skipping. It could be described several different ways. We went ahead and pulled the cylinder head off of here because in the previous video we told you that the lifters were up under the cylinder head. So here you can see the condition of the head. Be careful, this is an aluminum head. When you pull it off, you do want to follow the recommended specifications or torque steps for untorquing the head as well as retorquing the head back down. Before you torque the head back down, I would make sure that it's level. If it's not, you can take it to your local machine shop and they can level that head down for you if it's not too bad if it's not warped too bad. So over here we have our block, and down inside your block you'll find your lifters. So the lifter rail is here. To get that out, you'll need a 10 millimeter socket. It's one bolt that holds that whole rail down. And we'll pull that out. And as you remember, this was cylinder number 7 in the previous video, where those rocker arms are. And here are those lifters inside that rail. Now, the two lifters that will actually shut down during the process of it running are the longer ones, and the ones that don't shut down are the shorter ones. Those will tend to stay down in the block. If you want to pull it out, you can use a magnet and pull that out and inspect it as well. You can see the condition of your cylinders. I do recommend removing all that carbon buildup before you put it back together, as well as the coolant that has leaked down in there. You'll want to remove all that, clean it up real good. Okay, so let's take a look at our lifter here. Our lifter sits inside this rail, and you can, if I can do it with one hand, pull that out. It comes right out, so there you see it here. So this is a bad one. This is the one under that rocker arm that wasn't moving, it had a lot of space in it. And we'll put it down beside another lifter and see if you can notice any difference here. Well, I guess you probably can, but if you can't, the secret is here in this spring. You notice how this spring is compressed and this spring is open. So imagine this being down on the block of the motor and this being the bottom of the motor here. This sitting down on the block of the motor. And as this travels up, all right, you have this push rod that pushes up in there. Okay, and as you see, that push rod pushing up, you see how far that's going to go, okay, or how far that would need to travel in order to hit that next tool up here. Okay, so if we put this in a lifter that isn't, you'll notice that it doesn't really have to travel up that far at all because it is fully extended the way it's supposed to be, and it's, you know, making great contact. Whereas this lifter here, and they're starting at the same place, as you can see. All right, they're starting at the same place. We'll put this push rod there. You see how much shorter it is. Okay. Now in the car, that working, you hear that? Does that kind of sound familiar? What was going on inside your car would make you wonder what the heck's going on? Alright, so if that valve's not opening all the way, of course it's going to cause other issues in the computer. It might show misfire, cylinder, whatever, but the actual root problem necessarily isn't always going to be a bad coil pack or a bad spark plug, especially if you have a hard tapping sound as such. Again, the lifter that isn't collapsed, there's not going to be any space in there, okay? The lifter that is collapsed is too short. And you can see the distance right there. And if you look at the previous video, you'll see what I was talking about, where the push rod was coming up, it wasn't able to, it was only coming up and slapping the rocker arm and not actually moving it, so that caused other problems in the vehicle. All right, I hope I explained that clearly. A little tired tonight. If you have any comments, if you have any questions, post. I'll be more than happy to respond to you. We're going to get the new parts and put this vehicle back together and have it back on the road, and it'll probably provide the owner with probably 200,000 more miles of great service. We put a high pressure oil pump in this vehicle. I do recommend those in the General Motor 5.3s. One of the things that happens is the oil pump will fail and it won't produce enough oil pressure, and it'll cause other problems on down the road if you don't. So it's a pretty easy fix too if you want to know how to do that. I think I'll post a video on how to do that as well. And until next time, YouTube, have a great night.